All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Gamecock Chuck back doing a preview prediction video for the Louisville Cardinals 2024-2025 season. Watching a little bit of golf as well. But make sure you guys are hitting that like and subscribe button. Get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Not a real expert at this, just trying to expand my channel a little bit. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let's go ahead and dive into this video without wasting any more time. Louisville Cardinals, last year, 10-4. We're going to talk a little bit. First of all, let's see. We're going to talk a little bit about Louisville, right? We're going to talk about last year a little bit. We're going to talk about some, what we consider strengths and weaknesses for Louisville for this upcoming season. And then we're going to talk about their win-loss total, right? By looking at their schedule. I'm going to give you a little preview of each game and tell you who's going to win, who's going to lose, and at the end of it, we'll come up with a total, and we'll see how well I do this year. And y'all, like I said, y'all can get in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Jeff Brom, second year as head coach, Louisville. Last year, I know Louisville probably had a season that they were happy with for the most part. I know it didn't end the way they probably wanted it to. They lost 3 straight games to end the season. They lost the in-state rival Kentucky. They lost to Florida State in the ACC championship game. In a game that could have went either way because both teams kept trying to give the other team the opportunity to win, in my opinion. Florida State just happened to take advantage of it and win it. And we all know what happens to Florida State. They got left out of the playoffs, started bitching, complaining, this and that, but it is what it is. So Louisville lost to them in the ACC championship game. Then they went out to the Holiday Bowl and pretty much got embarrassed by Southern California to finish the season at 10-4. During the season, they lost a game they shouldn't have lost, and that goes to show you that every year teams win and lose games they shouldn't lose. And that game last year was against Pittsburgh, on the road at Pittsburgh, game they should have never lost, but they did. They lost to Pitt. So, looking at what Louisville's returning, they're returning 11 starters, right? Of course, you got the kicker and your punter. Most teams return them, right? Outside of that, they return 6 on defense and 3 on offense. In my opinion, defense is going to be the strength of this team in 2024-2025. Last year, they finished 21st overall in total defense, have one of the best defensive ends, or some could argue 2 of the best defensive ends in the ACC or in college football, and Ashton Gillette and, Mason Reiger. Both of these young men know how to get to the quarterback, know how to put pressure on them. They're very stout against the run. Gillette finished with 11 sacks, and I think Reiger finished right up there. Let's see, probably around second, I think it was, in sacks. Can't remember exactly how many he had, but either way, defense is going to be the strong suit for Louisville this year. The defense is loaded and stacked and talented on defense. Offense, I think they're going to have a couple probably question marks on offense, or at least I think so. I think this year they're going to take a step back as far as their win-loss total from last year. But offensively, when you look at the offensive line, they're returning 2 starters on the line. I'm not saying they don't have the experience or the talent to replace what they lost as far as starters. It's just, I want to see it. I want to see it before I believe it. And they very well may. Y'all get in the comments and let me know what I may be missing there. But offensive line, they need some players to step up and be productive to protect a transfer quarterback they brought in, Tyler Shaw from Texas Tech. Very good quarterback. He's accumulated a lot of yards, about 4,600 yards. 36 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 700 yards on the ground, 10 touchdowns. So I guess you can say a little bit of a dual threat there. He knows how to get out of the pocket when it collapses and make things happen with his legs. But can the offensive line protect for him? Can they open up holes for the running back room, which in my opinion is another concern. Maurice Turner's coming in there, replacing two good running backs they had from last year that went off, went out. They're no longer there, right? So he's got to step in and be the running back for the team, right, to carry the load on the ground for Louisville. Can he do that? Can the offensive line open up the holes for him? We shall see. I think, like I said, that's the small concern I have for Louisville. I think they're a real good team. I think Jeff Brom has done some good things since he's got to Louisville. But if they can play good offense, their offensive line can come together, and Shaw can be a good quarterback for them, can fit in their system. I may be totally wrong on my assessment, but looking at it right now and just, before the season starts, this is just my thoughts. So y'all can get in the comments and let me know how wrong I am, but that's looking at their schedule or looking at their team, what they got coming back and things like that. I think they got some very good players coming back, especially on defense. Like I said, that's going to be your strong suit. Offense, just not 100% sure when you look at that. Wide receiver, they returning a good wide receiver in Chris Bell. So they got some good weapons around Shaw. Just see how well he fits into the system and see how offensively they can go this year. All right, now we're going to take a look at their schedule. And I'm not one of these YouTubers that have it pop up on the screen. I'm not that high tech yet. Still trying to learn some things. I don't have a board beside me with the schedule. I got it right here in front of me. So I'm looking down. That's what I'm looking at. I'm going to look at the schedule and talk about who they're going to be playing. But it's a schedule that I feel like is pretty manageable for Louisville this year, right? And I know I said I think they're going to take a step back. I really do. And as I go through each one of these teams, you will probably see why I say that, right? They start the season off 3 straight home games. Austin Peay comes in there August 31st. Circle that as a victory. No way they lose to Austin Peay. So to start the season off right there off the gate, 1-0. Week 2, Jacksonville State comes into town. Rich Rodriguez, the head coach, always has Jacksonville State ready to play. They're a real good, sound, fundamental defensive, offensive team. I just think Louisville's the better team here. The defense is going to have enough. Louisville's defense is going to be the difference maker in this game. I think they get out of there with a victory here, and what I can say I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a little closer than what people think, but I think Louisville wins this game, starts off 2-0 before they go on a bye. They go on a bye the weekend after that. Then they welcome in the first ACC opponent of the year, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech led by Brent Key as the head coach, who has done some good things at Georgia Tech, right? They used to be like the laughingstock of the ACC. Now Georgia Tech's improved a good bit since Brent Key has taken over. They won games they shouldn't have won last year, or what most people say they shouldn't have won. They had a pretty good season last year, but they come into town to take on Louisville. Georgia Tech has transfer quarterback that came in last year, Haynes King. Very good offense. Defense is a little questionable as far as Georgia Tech. The thing about Georgia Tech is, though, can Haynes King take care of the ball? Can the offensive line keep Riger and Gillette off of Haynes King? Can they eliminate the turnovers, which is the big thing about Haynes King? Last year he had 16 turnovers or 16 interceptions. Can they limit the mistakes? I think Louisville's defense is just going to be too much for Haynes King. It is at Louisville. I think Louisville gets out of there with a hard-fought victory. This is probably one of these toss-up games. They could go either way based on how things flow during the game. If Haynes King can stay upright, can take care of the ball, this game can go either way. But right now, I got Louisville winning this game and starting the season off 3-0, headed on the road to their first road game of the season in South Bend, Indiana. A place that's pretty tough to win at, right? Louisville goes in there. Last year, Louisville beat Notre Dame at home. So this game, some Notre Dame fans may have circled as a revenge game, as a let's exact our revenge on Louisville, right? They bring in transfer quarterback from Duke, Riley Leonard. Question on that is he healthy, right? He didn't play in the spring game from what I've heard. So is he healthy? We haven't seen him lead the Notre Dame offense, which is Notre Dame's a good offense. They also are a very good defense, probably one of the best defenses in all of college football. They have a really good team, okay? But can Riley Leonard come in there and do what Notre Dame thought Sam Hartman was going to do last year, which was lead Notre Dame to a really, really good season, to a playoff, right? Year 3 has always been the best year for Notre Dame head coaches. So is the 3rd year for Marcus Freeman the magic year for them? In this game, though, looking at Notre Dame, what they have, what Louisville has coming back and playing, I think Louisville goes to South Bend and loses this matchup. I think Notre Dame gets their revenge on Louisville and gets out of there with a victory. Probably going to be a really good game, probably a really close game. We shall see. Then the following week, October 5th, Louisville welcomes new ACC opponent SMU to Louisville. SMU comes over, led by Rhett Lashley. Very high explosive offense, led by Preston Stone, who likes to get the ball to all his playmakers, likes to spread it around. All their skilled players are returning. The defense is loaded. They add 7 players from the transfer portal to an already stacked and loaded defensive team. So this is going to be a tough game for Louisville. Even though it's at home and Louisville's got a good defense, this is going to be a matchup of a high-powered offense against a good defense and a good defense in SMU, or Louisville, I meant, and then a okay offense, or maybe an unproven offense, I guess you could say, in Louisville against a really good defense in SMU. Who wins out in this matchup? I think SMU gets the victory in this game and hands Louisville's second loss in a row. Then Louisville goes on the road the following week, October 12th. They're on the road at Virginia. This is their get-back game, right? Unless this is one of these games that the team loses that it shouldn't lose, this should be no doubt a victory for Louisville. Virginia is one of the worst teams in the ACC. Outside of probably Stanford, they're probably the worst team in the ACC. So I got Louisville winning this game, improving to 4-2 on the season through the halfway point, before they welcome in Miami into Louisville. This here, in my opinion, I think it's a toss-up game. If Tyler Shaw for Louisville is clicking on all cylinder, Maurice Turner's clicking, the offensive line's gelled, this is going to be another good, hard-fought game between Louisville and Miami. The thing is, it's at Louisville, and I want to give the edge to Louisville, but Miami's bringing in Cam Ward, what a lot of people consider the best quarterback from this past season's transfer portal, right? He's coming into the system, he's got some weapons around him, and Xavier Restrepo and Jacoby George. So he's got some weapons around him. Defense is pretty good for Miami. Can Mario Cristobal not lose the game? That's the question here. I think it's going to be a good, hard-fought matchup. Miami's 1-4 in games decided by 7 points. I think this is going to be a close matchup. But I think this is a game that Miami wins. One of these close games that they win this year. I think they beat Louisville to move Louisville's record to 4-3 on the season, before they go on the road to Boston College, another team that's, quite frankly, just really isn't that good in the ACC. I think Louisville is going to have too much offense for them, too much defense is going to be there for them, and I think they get out of Boston College with a victory to go to 5-3. Yeah, 5-3 on the season before they go on the road to Death Valley to take on Clemson, a place that not a lot of teams win at here recently, right? Not a lot of teams have success at Death Valley, And I don't think this year is going to be any exception for Louisville. I think Clemson it's going to be a good game, but I think Clemson, if their offense can click for Clemson, I think Clemson's going to just take care of business here and blow out Louisville. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think Louisville's defense, like I said, is going to keep them in some games. I think this is one of the games that Louisville's going to keep themselves in by the defense. The defense is going to help them stay in this game. However, I think Clemson's going to do just enough to get out of there with a victory, and I got Louisville losing this game before they go on a bye. Okay, they got a bye in between Clemson, and then they go on the road to Palo Alto to take on Stanford. I guess Virginia's lucky Stanford's here because they take the title, probably the worst team in the ACC now, coming over from the Pac-12, what was formerly known as the Pac-12. But I think Louisville's just too much, even though it's a long road trip out to Palo Alto. I still think Louisville has enough to win this game and dominate and beat Stanford, which runs their record to, what's that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 4. That's where I got them at right down through 10 games. Then they welcome in Pittsburgh for the last remaining home game of the season. Pittsburgh is that game they lost last year that they shouldn't have lost. They had no business losing. This year, I think they take care of business against Pittsburgh. It's at home. It's going to be a good home crowd. They want to try to finish the season, finish strong at home. I think this is a game that Louisville just too much for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's they just not a team I'm too impressed with just by looking at what they got. Offensively, they return some people. Defensively, I think that's where they struggle this year. So I think Louisville gets out of there with a victory to finish the home season or their home schedule at home with the win, which makes them 7-4. Last game being in-state rival Kentucky. Mark Stoops. It's a rivalry game. It's at Kroger Field. Kentucky has transfer quarterback Brock Vandagriff come in from Georgia. Didn't see a whole lot of playing time at Georgia. He was stuck behind some good quarterbacks from Carson Beck and Stetson Bennett. So he didn't really get a whole lot of playing time while he was at Georgia. He's a very highly rated quarterback coming out of high school. He's got the intangibles, got the abilities to be a good quarterback. Can he do it in the Kentucky system? Got weapons around him, Barry and Brown, Dane Key. Defense, got talent. Can Kentucky beat Louisville again this year? I think so. I got Louisville losing this game to finish the season 7-5 overall. I don't see them making it back to the ACC championship game. Probably make it to a mid-tier bowl game, and we'll see how it goes. But that's just my talk. That's just my thoughts on this season. 7-5 for Louisville. Y'all can get in the comment section. Let me know. Let me know how stupid I am. Let me know what I said wrong. And just give me your feedback on it, on what y'all think the season's going to look like for Louisville this upcoming season. With that being said, hit the like, subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.